Hello, hello, hello. My name is Jennifer Barrish, and I am here to bring you your weekly weather and full moon horoscopes from the International Academy of Astrology. So, welcome to my yoga and astrology den, and I am going to tell you a little bit about what's coming up this week. My friends call me Jen, so I invite you to do the same. So buckle up your seat and hang on with me for the next 20 minutes to a half an hour, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about what's going on. So first of all, how has your Monday been? This forecast, by the way, is for the 17th, which is Wednesday, through July 23rd, next Tuesday. But we can't talk about this week unless we talk about Monday. Big old Mars and Uranus conjunction in the sky. They're holding hands, but in this case, I would say they're duking it out. It is a combative, volatile, shake it up kind of energy. We've already had it coming in through the weekend, and we've all seen it with the attempted assassination on our ex-president. And this energy is coming through in different ways. Car wrecks, shootings, violence, all kinds of angriness. And it doesn't mean that that's coming to your house. It just means that it's a volatile type of energy. You may be more prone to arguments, or notice where, somebody in your world is a little crankier than usual or acts a little ugly. So that's kind of the energy from the weekend coming into Monday and Tuesday, July 15th and 16th. I'm calling this, by the way, the white knuckle week. So just white knuckling, holding on to your temper, holding on to your emotions, holding on so that you behave and act the way that you want to out in the world, so we don't get ourselves in trouble, especially if you're a fire sign. If you get all fired up about things, this is a week to put yourself on hold and pay attention to what's happening around you. So white knuckle week, like I said, fire signs, you're going to be spun up. Water signs, you're going to be feeling like you're in a riptide. The currents are just sloshing you back and forth. Try to go with the flow. Air signs, you might actually be a little more energized than normal. This week can help you get a little more focused. And then earth signs, you are going to be the rock for other people. So hold steady, hunker down. Hold the fort down, help those around you to find solidity, because it's going to be tough. It's just a really explosive, don't lose your head. Other people are activated. Once we get into Tuesday, we're going to feel it, but won't quite be as strong, and Wednesday gets even better. Wednesday, we have the moon opposing Jupiter, and that brings at least a hopeful tone. So if something has been spiraling out of control for you, know that there is some hope coming in on Wednesday, and that moon goes into Sagittarius too, and that's going to be really good for us. So I would say hardest days of the week are Monday, Tuesday. Better days are Wednesday, Thursday, and then they're leading up to a big old full moon over the weekend. Coming in on Sunday at 6:17 a.m., so bright and early, and that's Eastern time. I'm in the Eastern time zone. Full moon in Capricorn, so we'll talk a little bit about that. So really volatile type of energies moving into a little more hopeful, a little more adventuresome, feeling like, okay, I kind of have my bearings. I can get out there. I can get out and about. And then leading into the weekend, things get a little bit tenser. On Saturday, though, I will say it's a good day to act on your intuition. Your gut instinct is going to be right on. Mars is actually moving into Gemini on Saturday, and that can create a scattering of the energy. So notice where you might be overcommitting, where your calendar might be a little too full. So try not to do that. Try to leave yourself some space. Mars is going to be in Gemini until early September. And so, just notice that Saturday and Sunday. And then we also become I don't want to say argumentative, but maybe a little more communicative, where you're able to speak your truth, you speak your words, you're able to debate about things, and so use the power of that communication, whether it's through writing, through email, through spoken word, to be able to talk it out more than to argue it out would be a good way to use that Mars going into Gemini. So over the weekend, we also have a Venus sextiling Jupiter, which is a lovely kind of energy, the yum type of energy, a good date night vibe, just indulgent and romantic. So Sunday, is not all just full moon. But, the best way to handle, we've got the sun and the moon in a square. And the best way to handle all of this is just to let yourself drift as much as you can. And honestly, I would say that the whole week, to try to not get overly engaged in anything, to try to stay more internal and try to just let yourself drift. We are still in Cancer season, at least until Monday when Leo season begins, but we are in Cancer season up through that full moon. And so imagine, I was recently at the beach and you see the little crabs crawling on the rocks, and when the waves come in, they just kind of hang on. Well, that's what we've got to do. But also, when you can't hang on anymore, you just got to let yourself kind of drift in and out with the current. So that would be my suggestion if things are feeling a little too tense. So on Monday, Leo season begins at 3:44 a.m. Eastern time. It's coming in with a roar. It's shifting the power. It is got a transformative vibe because that it goes, as soon as it moves into Leo, the sun moves into Leo, it has an opposition with Pluto. And so that's going to trigger Pluto. And Pluto's saying, how are you changing? How are you growing? How are you transforming? How are you evolving? So all those things are going to come in. But with Leo is going to make it fun. It's going to be bold. It's going to be bright. It's popping and cracking, and it's the clown. So let yourself be the life of the party. Have some fun with it. Be seen. Be the leader. Be the head of the pack. Find your inner Leo. And if you have Leo in your chart, guess what? Starting on Monday, it is your time to shine. And that would be actually next Monday on the 22nd. Okay, so we want to talk about each sign because that's what you're here for. So let's do a little step-by-step, starting with, I'm getting my notes out here, Aries. So thinking about the beginning of the week, we have that tougher energy, that argumentative Mars-Uranus conjunction, and then moving through the middle of the week to leading to a full moon. So things are going to get a little bit tenser. But you know what? That full moon in Capricorn's an earth sign. Capricorn is the builder, the climber, the practical one, the planner. And in Capricorn, with that full moon, it's going to make things real clear for us. You are going to get emotional clarity. Now, you might have an outburst or somebody else, but things are going to get real, right? There are going to be reveals. You are going to feel liberated. The truth is going to come out, whether it's you or somebody else, and it might be ugly. But you know what? It's going to clear the air, and that is good. Power shifts can happen. It's also a time to act. So if you've been holding on to something, taking a pause, know that that full moon is going to give you the steps that you need to be able to act on things in the way that you need to. So it's kind of like a pendulum. It starts tougher, it gets a little easier, and then things tense up at the end of the week and into the weekend. So for Aries, you start the week with some deep thoughts. You're having some feelings about your self-worth, who you are, what your resources are, what are your possessions, the things that you have, that you physically have. And so that's going to be on your mind. And as you move through the week to the full moon, that's making you think about what your supports are. Who are those people in your community? Who are your friend groups? Who are your relationships that help to get you what you want out of this life? Are they helping you, Aries? If they're not, it might be time to make a change. It might be time to pivot out of some partnerships, some relationships. And, this can be with your neighbor. It can be with the mailman. It can be with a coworker. This doesn't have to be an earth-shattering thing. But you may be thinking more like, okay, this doesn't really support my life plan. It's time for me to make a change. So that is this week for Aries. For Taurus, you're going to start off thinking about your vitality, your appearance, your energy level. Like, do you feel good? And within that feeling good is caring about what others think about you. Are you popular? I know that sounds dumb, but do you have friends? How do they feel? What's their opinion about you? And all week, these thoughts about your appearance and what you need to stay relevant. Maybe you're feeling a little outdated. It's time to get your hair done. It's time to make some changes to your wardrobe or your health routine because you're thinking about your public persona. The full moon shines light on that. Your reputation, your career, building yourself, who you're becoming. So that full moon is bringing kind of a new chapter, like the beginning of a new chapter in your life. So just pay attention where that's coming in for you. And know it's okay, Taurus, for you to think about you because you're always thinking about everybody else. It's your time to shine this week, okay? Gemini. So you start off the week, Gemini, believe it or not, working on yourself, all in your head. You're feeling a little internal, maybe feeling a little trapped in a situation. You're in a sea of people that maybe do not believe what you believe, an ideology that you feel stuck in, and it may cause you to go into hermit mode. And you just say, I can't deal with any of this. It's okay. Do it. Go inside, Gemini. As the week progresses, you're going to come out of your shell a little bit. Sag moon is going to help you. And by the weekend, that big old full moon is going to show you an escape plan. You're going to figure out a way to go on a new adventure, to find a new path. And you know what? You're going to make it serious. It's not going to just be all in your head like at the first of the week. It's going to come into a plan. That full moon is going to help you plan it. If you've said you're going on vacation for months now and you just haven't had the resources, doggone it, that full moon's going to bring you the resources, or at least how you can get to the resources. The idea is going to come through and it's going to get more serious and more real for you. So I think positive change is coming this week, Gemini. Cancer. Our Cancer babies, we are in the last week of Cancer season. You have been having fun, hosting parties, bringing your near and dear close in, fostering your acquaintances, your relationships, just hugging everybody up and being close to those that you love, and that's great. However, this Mars-Uranus thing has been throwing some monkey wrenches, so somebody's having a fit. You're trying to settle some nerves. You've been trying to calm somebody down. Somebody's had some shock come up and you're trying to go, it'll be okay, it'll be okay, trying to help them through it. Or maybe they're trying to help you. Maybe you're the one who's had the shock. So as we move through the week, what you're going to find is that thinking about these supports that you have, who are your real people, Cancer? Who really has your back? You're going to be focusing on intimate connections, shared resources, partnering with people. This is 8th house energy. This is about getting real and deep and thoughtful about your people, about who you care about and who cares about you. So notice how that happens, how things are lighter and you're like trying to fix and find solutions. And then all of a sudden that takes you on a deep dive of, who are my real peeps? Who are those 3 or 4 people who mean the most to you? And trying to foster some deep intimacy with them. And especially going into Leo season, which might feel a little superficial to you, Cancer, it would be really good for you to find those few people. Maybe it's just one person who you can talk to and who really knows your heart and you know their heart. And then you've got that warm, cuddly little connection with that person, as things get a little more lighter and more, on the surface when Leo season comes up. So that's your week, Cancer. And then we've got Leo, number 5. But Leo believes they're number 1. You start off the week, you're trying to balance your career your perceived perceptions. What do other people think about you, Leo? Is your mane in a good shape? What's your reputation? What is your work life and your public persona? How does that balance with your life at home? Are you able to take care of your family? Are you able to meet everybody's needs? Are you able to get the kids to the soccer games and to all the events and to the birthday parties and balance like home and work, home and work? So that's kind of this week as a home and work life balance. As we move into that Sagittarius moon middle week, that's really good for you. Sag is a fire sign, just like Leo is, so they're trining, they're pinging off each other. You're going to be feeling like you're flying high middle week. And then as we head into the full moon, it also brings you into, kind of in Cancer's way, into your relationships house and committed partnerships. So this is 7th house energy. Something needs to change here. You need to see some big, bold expression from somebody. We've got Venus in Leo, the sun's getting ready to move in Leo, and buddy, you're wanting people to show up for you. Who is committed to you? Who is respecting you? Who are your people? You're looking for that, and you're also saying, you know what, something has to transform or evolve here. With that Pluto influence with the full moon, it is just triggering this whole thing about people that are in your life that matter the most, and are they showing up for you? So I want you to think about that, balancing yourself, balancing your career, your home life, into balancing really who are your real people, who are the ones that matter. And this Pluto influence is going to be with us for all the signs, really, because it's there at the full moon, and as we transition into Leo season, it's going to be there all month long. All of Leo season is going to have that opposition to Pluto. And so that Pluto in Aquarius, that coming into the new, coming into the next, that is really going to be influencing, all of us. Like, is this year so far been supportive of where we're going and what we want to do into the future? And if it's not, this is the check-in point. So August, Leo season, or from July 22nd until we hit Virgo season, around that time in August, really is saying, okay, it's time to check in with yourself. Are you headed in the right direction? If not, it's time to make some changes. All right, so then we do move to Virgo, number 6 of the 12, a 6 of the wheel of life. And so Virgo starts out the week taking in things, absorbing. So Virgo is a sponge this week, taking in input. We're learning, we're growing. How does what you're learning, what you've been growing at, maybe you've spent the summer gardening, you've done your beekeeping, you've got some chickens, lots of people have lots of ways that they express Virgo energy, but usually Virgo has something to do with small animals. Maybe it's your pets, maybe you've been trying to train your dog or cat this summer. Anyway, all these small plants, small animals, maybe you've got a beautiful garden you've been taking care of. How do all these things you've been learning, you've been absorbing, you've been taking in, are they helping you? Or are you also overcommitted? So I think when Mars goes into Gemini, that Mars is going to be ruled by Mercury. Your sign is also ruled by Mercury. And you're going to start thinking like, I've been taking care of everybody else. But what about you, Virgo? Are you taking care of you? And that's always the tragic flaw for Virgo. You are going to be looking, as we shift into the full moon, you're really like thinking this through, absorbing things. You care about all these different things that you're taking care of. But by the full moon, it's going to ask you, do you need to change something? That full moon's going to say, evaluate your systems, evaluate your health, evaluate your routines, evaluate your workload, evaluate all these steps that you do, the way that you're refining your life. It's time to upgrade. Time to up-level it, Virgo. You may have to give some things away, which is good. You like to give gifts. It's time to simplify for you. So I want you to be thinking about that. You got extra Virgo power this week as that full moon shines into your 6th house. and it's going to give you some extra tools to refine and filter, kind of like a spaghetti strainer. You know, what do you need to keep? What do you need to let go of? And then we move on to Libra. Number 7. So Libra starts off the week, there could be some intensity. You have this Mars-Uranus transit coming through to your 8th house. You are personally vested in something. You are nervous. You have rallied behind something, and you're feeling like, oh my gosh, is it growing? Can I see the end? It's making you nervous. So just hold tight. You may be feeling a little grumpy at the first of the week. It's going to lighten up by Wednesday. You're going to be feeling better. And I promise you, by the weekend, this full moon is shining light in your 5th house of fun and games, pleasure, childlike energy, creative endeavors. It is going to be time for you to go and play. So it might start the week off tough. You're trying to balance things. You're feeling real like embedded in something. And it's bringing you a little nervous energy, a little grief, but by the weekend, things will lighten up for you. So look forward to that and find ways to go out and play this weekend. Then we move to Scorpio. Scorpio has a newer relationship on their mind, or a newer partnership, or a new networking person. There's somebody who's come up for you, and you're starting to think about committing. And you're like, how do I feel about this? How do you feel about this? Does this support the life that you're living? Does this feel helpful to you? Does this feel real? Does this feel like that deep connection like you like? If it does, take a leap. It's time. It's good. And you know what? That full moon's going to bring you some emotional clarity. You'll be glad you did, Scorpio, if you were brave enough to come out of the dark into the light, profess the thing you need to profess. Maybe it's true love to someone. I hope that for you. You do it, because you are going to get some emotional clarity. Hang on just a minute. My dogs are barking like they do. And so you are going to be defining what feels like home and who feels like home to you, who has your back, and you're going to get this clarity. Truths are going to be revealed for you with this full moon. So watch where that comes in. Sagittarius, you start off the week in internal mode, maybe a little down, maybe a little depressed, maybe feeling trapped. There's work, there's responsibilities, there's kids, there's routines, blah, 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 commute, all the things. You get to bust out on Wednesday. When that moon shoots into Sagittarius, you're going to be feeling more like yourself, more hopeful. You're coming up with a plan, an escape strategy. You're going to be able to do it. So don't worry, Sagittarius. The full moon, that is bringing up communication issues. Communication issues that you may need to talk about, journal about, write about, somehow post-it note about, right? Okay, you need to make a change. All this stuff at the first of the week that you had internalized, you're feeling it, and you're like, I need to move. I need a new house. I need a new office. I need a new car. I don't know what it is, but you need to redecorate, rearrange, remodel. You need to act on a new adventure. And it's something local in your close environment, close quarters. So it could be your room. You need to paint your room. It could be you need a new car. It could be you need a new desk in your office. You need a new computer. You've got to change something up. You're going to know what it is over the weekend, so watch for that. Capricorn, your week starts out, you feel like you are in the zone, okay? You are getting recognition. You're feeling like people are paying attention to you. You are in the group, but there's an excitement that comes. Something surprising. Some factor comes in that's teaching a lesson, and then all of a sudden, by the full moon, your moon, you go quiet just for a minute, because what you're thinking about is, okay, what if that happened to me? What if this shocking thing that happened to somebody else that I'm connected to happened to me? Would I be prepared? Do I have the resources to handle it? Do I have the money I need? You're getting real clear about your worth, what you're earning, what you need to earn, what direction you're going, and then what that does is give you a plan. So this is going to be a great moon for you, Capricorn, really activating, all of your practicality, pragmatic, how do we say it, pragmatic qualities, so that you can build the plan that you need going into Leo season. So it's kind of a deep thing. It might just be internal resources. It could be, I need to do my deep breathing and meditation so I can handle all these crazy people around me. Could be, I don't know. But just notice that shift. You're feeling good, but a shock comes in, and then it's like, okay, I need to consider what I have. How can I handle this? Now we need to move to Aquarius. So Aquarius, you start this week out thinking about family and comfort, and how that is impacted by the outer world. So it's your family, but it's also like, how is your family seen? How, when you have a visitor come in, what do they see about your environment? Is it too cluttered? Do you have scratches on the wall? Do you need to paint? Do you need to, spray off your driveway? What do you need to do? Do you have garbage? You need to put the can behind the house. So something you're like, I need to do some deep cleaning. There is some, maybe new landscaping. You're seeing in fresh eyes what your family, your home, your nest looks like at the beginning of the week. Maybe somebody says something. Maybe your HOA sends a letter and your gutter's falling off and you're like, oh my gosh, I didn't even notice, and now you got to fix it. I don't know. But it starts off with that outer feeling, fixing the home. You move into the full moon thinking about the inner world. So you've cleaned the clutter out of your home environment, or you're thinking about that, and now you're ready by the full moon to clean up the clutter on the inside. Does that make sense? So that might be, you need to get a haircut. You need some new clothes. What have you let go? There's something you've let go of with yourself that it's time, okay, I got to pick up the fitness routine again. I forgot about my diet. I forgot about taking care of myself. So focus on those things, from cleaning up your home to cleaning up yourself. And then last but not least, number 12, Pisces, my sweet little Pisces friends. You start out the week maybe reading the paper, getting reacquainted. Maybe you've taken a vacation, you've been somewhere, maybe it's mentally, and all of a sudden you're like reading the paper, reading the news, understanding what's happening in the politics within your city, within issues that have been coming up, and you're like, oh my gosh, this is heavy, this is a lot. Maybe you've got a heavy heart at the first of the week. Maybe there was crime, all these shakeups, shootings, it's just been a lot for you. Okay. So that's how you start the week. So what I would say for you is to seek music, seek quiet spaces, seek escapes, work alone. And I would say continue to do that through the full moon. So that full moon is going to be a lot for you. It's shining in on your 12th house. So you can look up 12th house information. Let me make sure that's right. Yes. That full moon is shining on your 12th house, and that's saying spend some time alone. It's okay to be internal. It's okay to be quiet. It's okay to not go places, not do things this weekend. Get in the water, get near the water, go to the lake, take a bath, go to the pool. Engross yourself in projects that feel good to you, Pisces. That is a good way to spend your full moon energy, and that's going to help rejuvenate you so that you, just like Capricorn, can make a plan. You just need to do it in kind of a quieter way, a way that feels more soothing to you, because you're a water sign. You need to flow, so give yourself some time to flow. Okay, my friends, this has been your horoscopes and weekly weather from the International Academy of Astrology. I am Jennifer Barrish, your host. It has been my pleasure. Reach out with questions, email us, and check out all the new classes we have coming up at the IAA for this fall semester. They start in September. There are 15 to choose from basic astrology up to beginning our professional programs, foundations in astrology, lots of good courses. They are, online, but in person with a teacher that you can ask questions to, that you can really dive into the material in a deep and meaningful way. So I'll hope you will look us up, astrocollege.org. My name is Jen, and I'll see you next time. Have a great week. Bye-bye, friends.